Hey everybody, this is Kelly of Imperial Royalty LLC, and my guest is Lloyd of Media Library, and we're talking about viruses, and we're also going to talk about how back in the day how they used to kill viruses using electricity, and also how they're using electricity nowadays to kill viruses. Now, this is from the research that we know thus far. Okay, we don't know everything about this, and we're just giving you information that we had looked up pertaining to viruses and pertaining to what people used to do or methods that people are known for doing in the medical field for killing viruses. So, Lloyd, so
hmm
you were telling me earlier about electricity, and you were saying that the ancient Egyptians that they was using electricity in order to kill viruses and bacteria. Can you tell me more about that technique?
Well, what they then they had this curing diseases with sound, curing electricity with crystals, and curing different diseases with electricity. All of them are related. If anything knows about electricity, has a frequency in there, which is a vibration, and today's doctors are studying those things. They would take a laser and they would pass it through a balloon, and then they had a black balloon in the center of that, and it would pop that balloon without damaging the outside balloon. And they would show you that at certain frequencies or how they could pass electricity through one layer without damage and pass it through a second one, and it would cause damage. So they had these techniques that they use today that they got from ancient times. So, yeah, it's a very interesting subject because, like I said, for many, many years, these people have thought that these things would work because they thought they came from the gods. So today, we normally believe in science, and so we're using those technologies saying, yeah, they do work. You can pass electricity through water called electrolysis, and one of the best water filters known to man is passing electricity or high voltage through electricity, and it will kill any disease known to man to this date. Now, that may change in the future when they get superbugs, but today, electricity is like one of the best things. So, yeah, we're going to talk about different things like air filters that use electricity. We'll talk about how to build your own face mask that use electricity. And the second thing I would say is the ultraviolet light, which you will go into and talk about how that kills in there. But remember, that works on a frequency too. It's a light wave. And we talk about an electromagnetic wave. Okay? So if you're talking about an electromagnetic wave, you're talking about something that is a wave, that means sound, that has electricity and magnetism all rolled into one. And if you vibrate anything like you're shaking, if you shake a baby, you can hurt that baby. If you shake a bridge, and you shake it violent enough, sound and vibrations will destroy those things, like it does when a lady can sing at a high pitch and she's singing into a crystal, it would shatter. So we know these things. So the whole point is how do we take all those little techniques and all the information that we know to protect ourselves from viruses and stuff like that. And then if we get really good, implement it into something that we can make in our homes that no other stores or people out there will have in a store.
Sounds good to me.
Right.
So, that sounds really good to me. So, on that note, let's talk about the filter, and it's called a electrostatic air purifier, right?
Yes.
And you said that it uses electricity in order to purify the air. Now, I was just on the website, and I'm bringing it up right now. And the website is called cehvac.com, and it says IQ Air. And as I'm looking at this website, it says the new Health Pro Plus offers up to 25% more clean air, 38% longer filter free, and 32% less noise, which makes it the number one rated room air purifier for allergies and asthma. And then it says here, it says at the heart of this revolutionary system is the exclusive IQ Air Hyper HEPA filtration technology that effectively traps particles of all sizes. That includes viruses, pet dander, dust mites, other allergens, and even cigarette smoke. While ordinary air cleaners are only tested for the largest 10% of the particles, IQ Air's Hyper HEPA filter is tested and certified to filter 99.5% of all particles down to 0.03 microns.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, this is something that they say that they utilize in the health field. People are using these inside of their homes, schools as well, in order to keep the air clean and healthy for people. And then, people's been, they've been looking for, like different disinfectants, such as what people mostly used to is like alcohol, and bleach, right? In order to kill, bacteria and viruses. And also people are also using, Lysol, which they say is also known for killing viruses as well. Now, it's another product. It also uses electricity. And it's called the Force of Nature. Now, I'm going to read you something about this. It says, Force of Nature is an appliance that turns tap water, plus a capsule of salt, water, and vinegar into a cleaner, deodorizer, and disinfectant that is as effective as bleach. Now, you can use this product. You can use these things. We have them at our house. We have salt. And the thing that's important about the salt, like we was talking about earlier, that salt is like a crystal, and crystals, they conduct electricity. And it's the electricity that kills, that is, for so far from what we know, that electricity is what is effective at killing viruses. So,
right.
Now this is what they say about their, particular device and how it works. They say hello to the multi-purpose cleaner that kills 99.9% of germs with its no toxic chemicals. It powers through grease, grime, sticky messes, soap, scum, odors, and germs as effectively as bleach with no toxic fumes or residues. It cleans virtually any surface: sealed stone, glass, stainless steel, wood, laminate, porcelain, composite, grout, tile, plastic, and rubber. They say that it is hospital grade, sanitizing, and disinfecting. The Force of Nature is an EPA registered disinfectant and sanitizer that kills 99.9% of germs, even staph, MRSA, norovirus, influenza A, salmonella, and Listeria when used as directed. It said it kills illness-causing viruses and bacteria with no toxic chemicals, and EPA registered for hospitals and ICU use. It disinfects and sanitizes. Now, it says, get the scoop. It says, what about coronavirus? It says, Force of Nature has demonstrated effectiveness against viruses similar to the COVID-19, which we know that coronavirus is known as. It says on hard, non-porous surfaces. It says, therefore, Force of Nature can be used against the COVID-19 when used in accordance with the directions for use against norovirus on hard, non-porous surfaces. Then it says the science behind it, right? It says electrolyzed water, which is salt, vinegar, water, plus electricity. It says force of nature miniaturizes the electrolyzed water technology from the industrial space. Salt, water, and vinegar are converted to electrolyzed water when an electrical current changes the chemical composition of the solution into two new ingredients. One, which is hydrochloric acid, which consists of chloride, oxygen, and hydrogen, and it says the same germ-killing substances your immune system makes, and sodium hydroxide, a detergent common in toothpaste, skincare, and cleaners. It contains only 0.000003%, yet cleanses as well as a top cleaning brand. They say that it's kid and pet friendly. It says we're parents too, and keeping all of the little hands, noses, and paws in our homes away from toxic cleansers was a huge challenge. And we found that electrolyzed water technology used in industrial applications like green kit cleaning and wound care, we knew we had our answers. And it says it's the only cleaner with no added fragrances, dyes, preservatives, and surfactants. Okay, and that's something to me that I feel like, as far as like trying to disinfect, your house, that I think it would be a good idea to have that, the rub, to be able to have something that's safe for your pets, safe for your children, so that you can wipe off and disinfect. So if you can't get, bleach or peroxide, at least you'll have another solution that you can use, And
right.
I will
Right.
have my affiliate link below, so that for any of the listeners who are interested, that they'll be able to, purchase it directly from me. And then, so now moving on, we're going to move on to the mask that the N95 mask is what is most effective against viruses, because that is a mask that is able to block pathogens, okay? And then this particular pathogen is airborne, and it has droplets. And the N95 is able to block those particular pathogen, so it could be effective. Okay, but there's another one. That's another mask which you was talking about, that it uses electricity. Tell me more about that.
Well, what we're doing is we already know that electricity kills every known virus out there. And the product you were just mentioning was stating that, because they already know that if you run this electricity through your water, it's going to kill every biological agent in there. And the higher the electricity, the more it's going to kill it more effectively. Okay, so basically putting those little germs into an electric chair. So what they call that is electrostatic precipitation, EPS. And those are filtered devices that they use in corporations and industrial use. So when you say you want the best of the best, those things are what you're going to use in any settings. And you can make these things yourself. So if you can't make them, then you can buy them. So that mask that we were talking about, which you can go on to YouTube, Pinterest, all those things, and buy an electronic mask, which means that they pass electricity to it as the air comes in. And how that works is basically you have a wire mesh that has a negative charge, and the voltage on one side makes everything that comes through there electrified with a negative charge. And then you have a second plate that is positively charged. This is the attractive plate. This is the plate that has to be clean, because now that you negatively charge, almost like static electricity when you touch somebody or you rub something and stuff, and those electrostatic things get charged up and they'll stick to the wall, or the piece of paper sticks to your hand, or a piece of plastic. That's what they're working with, but they're doing this in high voltage. So once you get that negative charge, those plates, it gets attracted like a magnet right to those plates. And air and everything gets attracted to that plate, and it electrifies them. Once it touch positive and negatives connect, that's where you get them to electrify. So once they electrify and you kill all the germs, then the clean air passes through. So yes, all you would have to do if you have a thin mask is to have wire plates for one negative and a wire plates for your positive, and run it through a 9-volt battery or whatever power source you're going to use. And you could actually make your own mask. And we'll go over that later on how we'll set up something that we can teach a class on how that's actually done. But those are the way the scientists have done this for years, and as you go back into history, you see that this was a form that was used, even though they didn't know what we know today, but they used them, and they work. So, again, we're talking about ancient technology that's used today, and now we can tell you why it works. And then we can build them into devices that you can build in an emergency in your home, and with very little thing, because everybody has some kind of wire, and if you didn't have wire, you have some device that had wire in there. So if you had to choose between life and death, you're going to break something apart to get to that wire, so you could make something that will protect you from that. And like I said, we're going to keep that in the frame, but it protects you for so much more. But we will get into those things later. But right now, we're just talking about how to look it up. If you look it up on Wikipedia, electrostatic precipitation or electrostatic air filters. And it's not the only one out there. They've sold them commercially and everything. So it's not hard to find once you know the name to look up for. So those are the things that you're going to look up. Again, that is electrostatic precipitation or electrostatic filtration or filters. Any device that uses that, I don't care if it's water, I don't care if it's air, I don't care if it's just protection from Wi-Fi, it will protect you. What do you think?
It sounds good to me.
Right. So, again, we have to discern all the different ways that we can protect ourselves. And I know chemicals and stuff, because like I said, when we went into the store, the shelves were clean. You couldn't buy Lysol. You buy, right. You've seen that. I mean, I've seen it on TV. What's
gone.
Right, but those things only work about a level 4 when you talk about the thing. And it says it cleans 99.9, but they don't say if it cleaned the coronavirus. And that's what they talked about on Channel 4, what's named. They don't know much. Yeah, they don't know much about the disease, so how do they know it kills it?
Exactly, they don't, because this is something, like they always said, they keep on saying, like I was watching news for Atlanta, which is online on YouTube. I was watching it called 11 Alive, and they were saying that this is something that they never seen before. And so they're just trying to figure out how to get a handle on this, you know. And
right.
You see people in New York City, whole cities are shutting down, you know. People in New York City, they're cleaning their public transit like 3 times a day. And they're telling people, where my friend is at with her husband, they're down in New Orleans, and they're talking about that now, you know, they have to self-quarantine, you know, right now.
Right.
And here up in Detroit, basically, we know that they're telling people the same thing, to stay home if you're sick. And also, a lot of restaurants are being affected by this because nobody's going to the restaurants. And, you know, rightfully so, because but this thing here is so dangerous and it's so contagious that you could be, you know, you can be right next to the person and you could possibly get it, you know. because
Right.
you can breathe it in, or it can, you can either breathe it in or it can come in through your eyes. So that's why you have to have a mask on and other, personal protective equipment. So yeah, and that's why
I
and some people. Hmm.
no, I couldn't find the information. I was trying to get a name. It was
Hmm.
a female doctor, and I think it was probably um, in the 80s that she perfected of a device that you could put on your body, and it would kill viruses using electricity or passing electricity to the virus, to the body. I'll have to find that out and then give everybody our information on how to find that, because like I said, it was effective for a very long time, and that was before people started widely using the filters that had electricity in it. It was right after she had been using those things and curing people, and all I heard is now they took her license for telling people this, and because people
Mm.
start thinking that, like when they said sticking needles in you, what the
Mm.
ancients did. Oh, that's pseudoscience. That's this. But now they
Mm.
use acupuncturists today in the hospitals.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
all this stuff that we're talking about, people used in the ancient times. If you don't think it's real, but people used it for 4,000 years, and it
Hmm.
had to have some effect on
Right.
some level.
And it's see the and it's good that you mentioned that, because we have actual, like meridians, electrical current in our bodies, and with the ancient Chinese, what they was utilizing those. Some people may know them as chakras or energy centers, but that's what is being utilized when they're using acupuncture with the needle. So
Right.
so
Exactly. And
that
that's
goes
why I
back
said
to electricity.
we explain it different today on how they explain it then. So it's good to have these types of shows that show you the relationships in today's technologies on why these things actually work. And you're right, your whole body systems kills all these germs using the electricity in your body. Your body is this one big electricity machine, or we would be dead already from all different types of diseases and what's named that's in the body. But as we eat, your body uses electricity, or turns the food
Mhm.
into electricity, and it will kill all the virus known to man at this point. There is something that your body can't protect it, because it got some diseases that kill you so fast it doesn't get a
Mhm.
chance to let your body heal or fight off those methods using um, anything natural. It would just kill you because it just spreads so rapidly. But those are
Mhm.
high-level pandemics.
Right.
But what we're talking about, the flu and stuff like that, where your body can fight it off, it was like, how does it actually fight it? And when you break this all down, they're using electrochemistry to fight those diseases.
Mhm. Yep, and that makes a lot of sense, because let's bring it back to Dr. Sabi, right? Because he
Mm-hmm.
said that the body is electrical, remember? And he
Yeah.
was talking about an alkaline body, which it has like, it starts off around what, like a pH of like 7.0,
Mm-hmm.
round
That's
about
right.
there, is that when your body is considered as alkaline. And he was giving a whole list of different vegetables that he says, fruits and vegetables that are electric, and you need electric foods for an electric body. So that wouldn't be, meat or eggs or milk, because those things, and such as pop as well, and sugar, because those things are actually acidic and causes mucus in your body, which then in turn, from what I can remember from his teachings, is that he said it makes your body more acidic, which also causes acid and also creates mucus, which then in turn breaks down your immune system. That makes you more
Right.
susceptible to bacteria and viruses.
That's right. That's right. Like I said, it all breaks down to things that are natural, and electricity is one of the natural things that's through history. And people don't relate those things as that. They just like when we were talking about the electromagnetic wave. Well, the electromagnetic wave, when people are talking about all these different other electromagnetic waves, they don't relate them as the same thing. So they never get what we're talking about, or they think it's a pseudoscience. I don't believe that. The reason why, and when we break these things down into those basic forms, then people start to understand, okay, I understand that this will kill things. Why does ultraviolet light kill the coronavirus? Well, it's an electronic wave. Basically, we're still talking about electricity, okay? And we're talking about a frequency. So anything that has talking about those things, open your mind, open your listening skills, and it says, look, take it with a grain of salt and do the research behind it. Because once they start saying, oh, I'm using frequency to kill viruses, okay, what kind of frequencies are we talking about? We're normally talking about a virus that can shake a virus so readily that it just explodes. And they use that in the medical terms. So I start to listen. If they say anything about electricity killing viruses, I start to listen because I know those are facts, that they have used it. Now let me hear what you have to say on the subject, okay? So that's the whole point about doing the research and seeing what we know that will kill Bactricity. You know, everybody that I know of goes to Clorox. Oh, I'm going to use Clorox and it's going to kill the virus. But how does it clear it? They normally don't care. They just says, I just know that my mom used it and this is what I use. And it was like, that is an electrochemistry that's reacting to another biological chemistry. Okay? So you still have to find out why and how this is effective to kill the virus. And once you do that, then we start to understand how we can kill these things more effective, or how we can protect ourselves by maybe wearing a nose guard that has electricity in it, things that people can't see or it's not embarrassing to wear. So if you want to live in this society in 20th century, 2020, we're going to start to have to think on that level. We already know how the ancients did it, but how can I perform or do these things in the 20th centuries on how I want to live my life? And then you do the studies, and all of a sudden you're going to start to see those relationships pop up time and time again. What kills these things? Is it using a chemical? Is it electrochemical? Is it using straight electricity? Is it using a frequency? All these different methods that we have to kill the viruses that we have right now, but what about those super viruses that's supposed to be coming?
Okay, that sounds really good to me. So how can the listeners reach you?
Oh, well, give out your number. Let them reach you. You know, we do our show together, and you did a very good show. So, yeah, give out some contact information so you can get the credit for your show. You know how we do it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the dial-in number is, for playback, is 712-770-5067, and the participant code is 701613.
All right.
If anybody would like to email you for any information as well, you know, how can they reach you?
Well, you know, you can email me at Media Library, because we are a actual library. So that's how we research and study these things, and we go through tons of YouTube videos and stuff. So we try to keep up with all the information and the new techniques that are being used the ancient techniques that were being used. So, yeah, you can reach me at medialibraryinfo@gmail.com, and you can drop a line and ask the questions like you can do at any type of library, and it's totally 100% free.
Okay. And guys, and please look forward to any other things of videos and seminars that we will show you guys on how to do different things, from farming to making these masks yourself in order to protect yourself and your family and also your friends. Okay? And until then, I'll say peace.
Peace out.